You've walked into a room and instantly felt every pair of eyes lock onto you, but not in a good way. You've talked to someone for just a few seconds, and somehow they already decided they don't like you even though you barely said anything. Worse yet, looks aren't everything, but why do completely average-looking people make everyone fall for them without even trying? Today I'm revealing the exact 4 psychological phrases that trigger instant likability, making anyone like you within the first 30 seconds. This isn't ordinary small talk. These are proven instant likability triggers that work 300% better than appearance in the first 30 seconds, according to Harvard and Stanford research. The core concept is micro-validation and emotional mirroring, the 2 most powerful mechanisms the human brain responds to automatically without thinking. Phrase number 1, I noticed that. When you say, I noticed that you always arrive early, or I noticed that you handled that client so smoothly, you activate a positive spotlight effect. The recipient's brain instantly feels seen on a micro level. Dr. Matthew Lieberman's UCLA research shows micro-validation lights up the ventral striatum, the same region activated by cash rewards. Example: at a party, instead of, you look nice tonight, say, I noticed that you're the only one who remembered everyone's name here. That person will instantly see you as the most perceptive person in the room. Phrase number 2, that makes sense. This is the secret weapon of emotional mirroring. When someone shares an opinion, instead of arguing, say, that makes sense why you'd feel that way. This triggers Rizzolotti's mirror neuron theory, making them feel you're on the same emotional team. A Princeton experiment found people who used that makes sense were 340% more likely to get a coffee invite after the first meeting. Phrase number 3, you're not alone. This is instant medicine for the impostor syndrome that 70% of high achievers suffer from. When someone says, I'm scared I'm not good enough for this promotion, don't give generic comfort. Say, you're not alone. I talked to 3 directors last month and every single one felt the same before their big break. This creates an instant bond through Robert Cialdini's social proof principle. Phrase number 4, how did you? This question triggers the self-disclosure loop. When you ask, how did you stay so calm during that crisis? Or how did you learn to negotiate like that? You hand them the microphone to become the expert of their own story. Arthur Aaron's research showed just 36 self-disclosure questions can create intimacy equal to 6 months of knowing someone. Now imagine using all 4 phrases in a real-life situation. Here's what happened at my networking event last week. I met a startup CEO who was stressed after getting rejected by investors. Instead of, what does your company do? I opened with, I noticed that you're checking your phone every 30 seconds. Big pitch today? CEO looked up, eyes lighting up. That makes sense, I continued. I was exactly the same before my first funding round. You're not alone, I said as she exhaled. 3 founders I know cried in the bathroom after 50 VC rejections. CEO laughed. Really? How did you finally get your first yes? I asked. 30 minutes later, CEO voluntarily introduced me to her biggest partner. In just the first 30 seconds, I went from stranger to trusted ally. That's the power of combining these 4 phrases with micro-validation and emotional mirroring. Second real-life example in the office. Staff just presented an idea that got torn apart by the boss in front of the whole team. Instead of silence or, don't worry, I sent a private message. I noticed that you included customer data from 2023-2025. That's insanely thorough. That makes sense why you're disappointed. I'd feel the same if my 40-hour work got dismissed. You're not alone. Remember Min last quarter? His proposal got shredded, but now it's our main product. How did you gather all that data anyway? Teach me your method. Staff replied instantly, Bro, you just made my whole week. Coffee tomorrow. 4 messages turned a crushed colleague into a loyal ally. Third example on a date. I met Lan at a cafe. She was stressed, scrolling LinkedIn. Instead of, Hi, you look pretty, I said, I noticed that you're reading articles about AI ethics. Deep stuff for a first date. Lan smiled. You have no idea. That makes sense, I replied. Most people here are on Instagram, but you're thinking about humanity's future. You're not alone. My ex thought I was weird for caring about this, How did you get into AI ethics anyway? Your journey must be fascinating. 20 minutes later, Lon said, I've never felt someone understood me this fast. This isn't luck. This is science. University of Chicago 2024 research showed people using micro-validation in the first 30 seconds had a 312% higher chance of being asked out again compared to those who only complimented looks. Now, the most important part, how do you start using this today? Lesson number 1. Always open with, I noticed that, to trigger selective attention. Lesson number 2. Use that makes sense before disagreeing. You'll never be seen as argumentative again. Lesson number 3. You're not alone is instant healing for every hidden pain someone carries. Lesson number 4. How did you is the key that unlocks anyone's deepest story. Practice today with 3 people you meet. I promise, by the end of the day, at least one will message you, never had someone understand me like this. This isn't just communication skill, this is a 21st century superpower for instant connection. Are you ready to become the person everyone automatically likes from the very first second? Take action right now. Pick one person you'll meet today. Load these 4 phrases in your mind and watch the magic happen. Comment below, which phrase will you try first? I noticed that. That makes sense. You're not alone. Or, how did you? I read every comment and reply to the best stories. Remember to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss the next video. 7 psychological tricks that make people respect you immediately. You deserve to be liked. Start today.